Hi, friends. Welcome once again. We had a discussion very recently on a different topic on life philosophy. Hope you enjoyed all that. And my request is to keep watching and as well please subscribe the channel. And for subscription, you only have to click on the logo on the screen on the right side, on your right side. Thank you very much. Now, today we would be discussing a topic which is again very interesting. In fact, it is a very much well practicable prayers. Don't mistake when I say prayers, it's not a prayer to God Almighty, it's a prayer to self. This prayer has three equal segments. I'll just give you the prayers and try to explain it, how they are being practiced, or they can be well practiced. It's a very famous prayer. You may have heard it. As I have been always telling you, these discussions with you is always meant to be reminders of what you know. I'm not giving you anything new. Whatever we know already is only being reminded by these conversations with you. This prayer in particular is a very interesting, very contributing one, which I have been trying to practice all my professional and personal life. Hope you will enjoy this. And the prayer is this. I'll give it in three parts. The first one is, let me have the courage and confidence to go for a change wherever there is possibility for a change. That is one prayer. It says, Oh myself, let me have the courage and confidence to go for a change wherever there is possibility and need for a change. What is that? See, there are so many things in us which we want to change. There are so many things in our surroundings we want to change. There are so many things in our friends, in our relatives, in our office setup. We want to change. We want to change our expenses. We want to change our styles. So we identify what to change and how to change, where to change, and when exactly to change, and whether it is possible to change. If it is possible, if it is necessary, go for that change and gather the courage and confidence for that. Only requirement is courage, confidence, and the ascertainment of necessity of the situation. So once you do that, go for it. Suppose you have a habit of tardiness, that is coming a little late on everything. I had that. I happen to be late in all my meetings, all my important appearances, 2-3 minutes late. So I was finding it very disturbing for myself, and it was disturbing my prospects all through. So I tried very hard and managed well. So what I used to do is, I instead of suppose 3 o'clock I have to reach somewhere. Normally I'll plan as to reach there exactly 3 o'clock. Instead of what I started doing is, I started making sure that I am in the close vicinity of the venue at least 10 minutes in advance, so that any time I can well in time reach there without any difficulty. So that is one way, one example of how you can change things. So one prayer is that go for a change wherever there is possibilities and necessity for a change. It's very easy for you. The only thing is you have to identify what is to be changed and how is to be changed. That's all. Second prayer is again to self. This prayer is, let me have the reverence and serenity to accept the unchangeable. Still not. It's a beautiful prayer it is. It says, O self, let me develop the serenity and largesse to accept the unchangeable. Look at it. Now, suppose personally you have your spouse, your wife, or your husband. Suppose they have the habit of snoring in the night. You cannot find out whether your prospective wife or future wife or future husband will be snoring. We don't, at least in India, we don't have that opportunity and facility to find out well in advance. So after marriage, you realize that your wife or your husband, your spouse is snoring and it really disturbs your sleep. What will you do? You have to spend the whole life with this partner. If the snoring continues like this and disturbs your sleep, you cannot sleep at all. So you have to find a solution. So there is a need for a change. So there is an opportunity for a change. So you should have the confidence to go for a change. And you go for a change. It's very difficult to convince somebody that he or she snores during sleep. They will not accept because they don't realize that they don't know or they don't realize that they snore. So when somebody tells, they feel offended and they will defend to that. So tell them. It will take some time before you convince the person, make him understand that he or she snores. So once they accept it, you go for suggestions, turn this side, turn that side, have extra pillows on your sleeping bed so that you can head can be a little more position high. All that will save you from snoring, please. Or maybe some medications, even some consultation with the consultant. With all these trials also, if the person, your life partner, is not able to control his or her snoring, what will you do? That is where your prayer becomes very significant. Accept unchangeable. That needs huge mind, large-mindedness to accept something which cannot be changed. There are so many things in life which you keep trying to change but unable to change, and ultimately you accept. And that compassion of yours, that large-mindedness of yours, that generosity of yours will really help you build up excellent relations on a better way in life. Try to understand. So when your spouse is still snoring and she or he knows that your difficulty caused by her or him in your sleep, still you bear with her or him, that causes huge amount of bond between you. It's just an example. So accept the unchangeable is a wonderful way of building relations, both professionally and personally. Likewise, in our professional, let me give you one more example. In a professional, suppose you get a transfer, you are in employment, you get a transfer to a place of not your choice. You feel thoroughly offended because you are transferred. You are a good performer, but you are transferred to a place not of your choice. Maybe a remote location where things are a little more difficult for you. You are resented. You lost your mind. You keep on fretting on it. You want to get back to your old rendezvous. Keep trying for that. Keep coaxing people on that. Keep pressurizing your higher ups on that. Nothing happens. What will you do? You decide to quit. Many times depression will cause to bad habits in life. You lose interest in your life, professional and personal. You will be spoiling yourself altogether, transform into a very bad human being. Is it desirable? No, not at all. There again, this prayer comes to your rescue. Accept the unchangeable. Once you realize this transfer is not changeable, accept it. Prove that you are not the person who they calculated to be. Prove yourself in a different way. improve your credentials, concentrate on your own prospects, be more in your applications of jobs. There are so many cases, noted cases of people having been chased or people having been separated from the services on low performance grounds. After a few years, came back to the same organization and led the organizations. That was a sweet revenge for them. And I had opportunity of seeing such people and experiencing their pride and how transformed they are into a positive life altogether, and started taking up responsibilities and leading organizations, leading them to huge successes. The only quality that help them is this acceptance of unchangeables and live with that in exceeding pleasures and build upon such sentiments. Their original negative sentiments were engineered into positive sentiments, and they built upon that a huge career, which again was interdependent. Means not only good for them, but good for the entire organization. So my friend, the second prayer, accept the unchangeable, having tried on it. Third one, the third prayer to self, still more beautiful. It says, "O self, let me have the wisdom to differentiate." Differentiate what? Differentiate between changeable and unchangeable. Look at that. The prayer asks you to be strengthening yourself on your wisdom to differentiate what is changeable in you and others, what is unchangeable in you and others. What a beautiful prayer. So the key role in developing yourself is to go for a change, and the real tool for you is the wisdom to differentiate between what is changeable and what is unchangeable. So there's no meaning, you will be avoiding the wastage of time having to spend on attempting to changing something which is absolutely not changeable. Same time, you can be constructively used for accepting an unchangeable habit of yours, unchangeable situation of your surrounding, and develop on that, build upon that in a beautiful manner. So friends, the third one, wisdom to differentiate between changeable and unchangeable. And let's briefly look at what is wisdom. Wisdom is nothing but knowledge to use knowledge. Just look at it. What is knowledge? Knowledge is an information came to you, accepted by you, assimilated by you, interpreted by you, and retained by you. Information transformed into knowledge, this pathway. Once knowledge is with you, it's a potential knowledge unless you use it. So knowledge alone will not help you. Wisdom, that is the knowledge to use knowledge, will really ultimately help you. Here also, wisdom is going to help you in differentiate between the changeables and unchangeable. Let me consolidate these three prayers in single one to you. It's like this: "O self, let me have the courage and confidence to go for a change wherever there is possibility for a change and need for a change. O self, let me have the reverence and serenity to accept the unchangeable as it is and build upon that." And the third one, "O self, let me sufficiently develop the wisdom to differentiate between what is changeable, what is unchangeable." As I told you already, personally, professionally, socially, politically, when one has to establish himself as a thorough gentleman, a thorough professional, and so much committed to whatever we do, this prayer will definitely help. And this is one of the basic things a human being must develop when ambitions are to be fulfilled. Thank you very much. Meet you again. Kindly say this, share this with as many people as possible, and subscribe the channel. Very important. Thank you very much.